All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. We are officially live. Hope you're excited for some Sableye. Before we get into it, I want to address we had a pretty massive donation happen already. $20, or I guess 20, same thing. 20 memberships donated by something or other. Thank you very much for the generosity. And yeah, some looks like nobody in chat got one, but it can be a bit weird sometimes with how that works. I don't really fully understand how they distribute these memberships. I feel like if there are a lot of people in the stream, it seems to give them to people in chat, but maybe it is just randomized across subscribers. I don't really know, but either way, thank you very much for the generosity. And if you do want at least a chance to be in that pool, make sure you have accept gifts turned on. I do not know how to turn it on, but I'm sure Google can answer that question for you. So yeah, there are a couple other things I want to talk about. So one person, just one thing I wanted to talk about right out of the gate. Someone was saying, you know, bills can't be this bad or something. The implication being, I imagine, that I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for fake hype Pokemon that, like, I think will get clicks. I only build things I'm interested in, with rare exceptions that, you know, if someone really wanted a stream and they've you know, been supporting the channel for a while or donated, I might do a stream. And sometimes I build Pokemon I am not that interested in, don't believe in at all, just because I'm really tired or just not feeling it that day. Like when I did a Clamperl stream, I knew Clamperl wasn't going to work. I wasn't like seriously locked in on Clamperl, but I did it anyway. But in the case of Sableye, that's not what's going on. And the other thing is, some may wonder if I've run out of ideas to be using a Pokemon with this base stat total. And the answer is no. I've got plenty of ideas, many of which are way more likely to work than Sableye and generally much stronger concepts. The reason we're building Sableye is just because that's what, of my very long list of things that I have that I want to build, this was the one that interested me most at the moment. So yeah, I wouldn't say I believe in this, but I believe it has a chance. I believe it has a chance. And yes, someone did reach out to me. I just want to know if you're going to spin this to not be stall. That's correct. Yeah. I will not be building stall. That's not what we do here. Yeah, Clamperl did do kind of well. Someone's got a test tomorrow. An intro to machine learning. A test on Sunday? For machine learning? You mean, I hope it's not on Sunday. Good God. Anyway, though, also this thing has a great shiny form. Look at that. So pretty. Get that little emerald there. Anyway, though, let's talk about Sableye. So somebody reached out to me a couple months ago and was like, hey, you should build Sableye. It's got some good tools. And then I was like, okay, that seems kind of interesting. Let me check it out. Then I looked at its stats and I was like, no, I'm not going to build Sableye. This thing's garbage. It has horrible stats. It's like a wall with 50 HP and 75 defense. Like, I think Weavile is bulkier than this. Yeah, by like a large margin, Weavile is bulkier than this. So I just was astounded at how frail this Pokemon is. Did you have to take physics lab? Yes, I did. Yeah, so this thing, I just saw its stats and I was like, this is a disaster. I'm not using this. But then I faced one on ladder. I faced a Sableye and it was kind of annoying to deal with, honestly. I think I barely won the game, but Sableye was challenging. And then I thought, okay, maybe we'll give it a go. Now, for those acting like this is just a worse version of Grimmsnarl, like, no. A lot of differences in what these Pokemon do. They're fundamentally different Pokemon. They work in very different ways. They offer very different things. Obviously, Grimmsnarl's stats are way better. Like, oh my god, way better. But no, they're not super similar Pokemon. So obviously we're going with Rock and Rain Dance here. The problem we've had a lot in the past with Rain is that Pelipper is kind of a passive Pokemon, right? It kind of invites in Kyurem. The idea behind this Sableye is that, right, we've got moves like Encore, we've got moves like Thunder Wave, we've got moves like Knockoff, might go Foul Play as well, that can kind of keep up that offensive pressure without, you know, just allowing in all those top tier threats like Pelipper does. That also helps with Zama. Zamazenta is a threat a lot of people don't understand is tough for Rain. And then, of course, I don't think we'll go the Toxic Rock angle here. I do definitely want to run a Barraskewda. I feel like if you're not putting... We might go Life Orb, we might go Band, but I feel like if you're not putting a Barraskewda on your Rain team, you're just throwing. So that's one thing we can pretty safely say. All right, now I'm going to stop messing with you. We're not doing that. I figured that joke went on long enough. So no, we're not using that at all. We are going to be using, well, a few things here. We're going to be going with an Encore Prankster support set. Now, I wonder how many people in chat are believing that I did that. Oh geez, it seems like people are buying it. That's kind of concerning. You guys have a lot more faith in me than I do. I would be throwing tomatoes in the chat if I saw someone pull up with a Rain Dance Sableye, even if it was God himself. Anyway, though, one thing before we get into the actual set that we're running, we got a very generous 50 gift memberships donated by something or other. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay. All right, now chat's reacting. That's funny. Yeah, something or other. Thank you very much for the generosity. Thank you very much for the generosity. That is an incredible membership. Hopefully some of you guys got that. The Oil Baron has returned. The Oil Baron has returned. All right, so Sableye, it doesn't get toxic. I kind of thought it got toxic, but we probably weren't going to run it anyway, so that's fine. So let's look at some options on Sableye. We're going to be going with a defensive set. Its defense is a little higher than its special defense. It makes sense to use this thing as a defensive wall. In every sense of the word, it makes sense to use this thing as a physically defensive wall. There are very few things Sableye can actually do, but walling Zamazenta is one of them. So we want to actually be able to wall Zamazenta. We put Spadef on this thing, we're actually like at real risk of getting farmed by Crunch, which is horrifying. So yeah, Sableye will be so much better next gen because they gave it Parting Shot in ZA. Yeah. Since I believed it, I am very, very new to competitive Pokemon in my defense. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not really actually hating on you. I know a lot of people are just kind of like, oh, okay, this is interesting, you know, because I do come up with some pretty wacky stuff. I come up with some pretty wacky stuff. But anyway, so let's talk about Sableye. The moves you always run, always Encore. I would drop Recover before I drop Encore. If you are not running Encore, you are throwing. So the main thing Sableye does is click Encore, in my experience, at least, which is, credit to it, not very much. And then someone says, wait, hold on, let me read this right. The Misters first with the £5, no, is that €5? I think £5. Thank you very much for the £5 donation. Saying, ignore dem mofos complaining, Pink. You were building with Flapple, Glastrier, and Toxtricity back in the day, and it was still entertaining. Yeah, I've been building garbage forever, guys. Once in a while, I'll like have something that I think will be garbage, and then it's really good, like for Rigoraph. So maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be it. Yeah, but we'll see. So Prankster Encore is really, really good. And, you know, just basically stops sweepers. There is a ton of setup in this game. So if you catch anything locking itself into any move that either does very little damage to Sableye or is not an attack, you can just lock them with Encore. You can shut down Dragon Dance Cure M. You can shut down Calm Mind Raging Bolt. You can shut down SD King Gambit if it's Terra. Now remember, Prankster does not work on dark types. That is a key thing. But yeah, it's really good for that. You can lock Zamazenta into Iron Defense. You can't lock Rillaboom into SD. Glide will outspeed and block you. You can lock Iron Valiant into Calm Mind. You can lock Iron Moth into Substitute. Iron Crown into Calm Mind. You can't lock Hatterene. Magic Bounce does shut down Sableye pretty well. Same thing with Goldengo. Can't lock it into Nasty Plot. It's immune due to Good as Gold. Dragonite is a big one. Sableye being actually able to stop Dragonite pretty effectively is like insane. It's insane. Now I will say, you look how much just this Earthquake is doing. So if a Dragonite just goes aggressive and clicks something like Terra Blast Flying, you are taking a ton of damage instantly. But even in that case, right, you can go for the Wisp and then recover. So yeah, another thing it does is Spin Block. It is a ghost type, so it can do that. That is something else we should acknowledge. Please don't go for the Russian roulette of 85% Will-O-Wisp. I fear I'll have to. So the other thing it can do is status. Basically Wisp and T-Wave. And then spread knockoff. So this is basically what Sableye's around to do. It doesn't do much, and its stats are horrible. Now here's one thing Sableye does not do. Does not wall hardly anything. Now, there are a couple things. Like maybe one thing. It's basically Zamazenta. Like even something as typical as like a Tinglu, for example. Like a Tinglu Earthquake is doing 40. 33 to 40. You're not really wanting to deal with that. So you basically wall nothing. You can wall like a Corviknight if you want to count that. So you shut down Zamazenta, and that's about it. So yeah, shuts down Zama. And wall hard. Well, no, it does shut down Zama, so I'm not going to put it there. But it does not wall hardly anything. So the big thing is we cannot, during this stream, we cannot treat Sableye like a wall. We have to treat it more like a Ditto. It really messes with a lot of Pokemon and throws some matchups on its head and has limited defensive utility in the sense of being a Psychic community. The ability to spread knockoff. But we can't really act like this is a defensive Pokemon, and I don't intend to. So someone's saying, is this after burn with Tinglu? No, if Tinglu was doing like 80 without a burn, I would not be using this Pokemon. It's not that frail. But yeah, you can't burn Tinglu is the problem because it's a dark type. So the moves you run on Sableye, you have to run Encore because that is the number one thing it does. If you're not running Encore on your Sableye is trash. And if you see here, for some reason, only about half are running it. I guess some choose to run Light Screen Reflect for some freaking reason. I don't know why you wouldn't just use Grimmsnarl. If you're using it as a screen setter, Sableye is completely outclassed. So I don't know why they're doing that. As far as what the heck, like I don't know why Encore is this low. What are you guys doing with your Sableye? Taunt? I guess some crazy people are running Taunt. So you need Encore. The next thing you need is Recover, right? This is still a defensive Pokemon. If you don't have Recover, you're throwing. So those are the required moves. The next, I'm thinking the best is probably Will-O-Wisp. Sableye, obviously, really likes to burn stuff. And spreading burn is really good. Really good, helps shut down Zama, helps it switch into Tusk, helps it switch into D-Knight, and just generally, threaten Wellspring right off the bat. It makes it a lot more difficult for a lot of teams to deal with. So yeah, burn is pretty tough to turn down. You can run Thunderwave as well, but I think Burn's a lot better. As far as it's one attack, we don't necessarily have to run an attack on Sableye, but I think generally Knockoff is just a really good move to have, so that's probably what we'll be using. He says check it at 1825. I don't know if it'll appear at 1825, but we'll see. Oh, it does appear. It does appear. Yeah, so this one is, yeah, it is this set, and it's used seemingly basically just on stall. And most of them do run HDB, which is also the item I was thinking. So I'll say as far as items go, basically it's leftovers, HDB, Rocky Helmet. I'm inclined to go with HDB. I think that'll be the best, since I'm expecting this team will have a hazard stack component to it, so we can make use of Sableye's ability as a spin blocker, which it is kind of a good spin blocker. Problem is this. Great Tusk, attack invested, headlong rush, doing 66 maximum to Sableye. Pretty bad. Now, like Iron Treads, doing about half is not too bad, especially when you can threaten to burn both of these guys. So it's like kind of a good spin blocker. But, you know, Tusk doing that much damage is pretty bad. But it's okay. It's okay. It's no Sinistra, but it's okay. Damp Rock. Hold on. What? Someone was using... Dude, what? Whoa! Someone was actually using that. I'm shocked. This is 1825. Huh. Lagging tail. Trick. Okay, trick, lagging tail. All right. Yeah, wow. Anyway. We are planning on running stall ability, right? Yeah, no, we're going Prankster. Pokemon's moves last among... Pokemon moves last among Pokemon using the same or greater priority moves. Yeah, that's a really bad ability. I feel bad for anybody that got that in a playthrough. Not that your Sableye would be moving first anyway, or that anyone would be using a Sableye in a playthrough, but people have probably done it. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, there are other options as far as attacks go. There's Thunder Wave, right? Obviously that's a helpful status as well. And, you know, can hit some stuff that Wisp can't. There is Foul Play. There is Nightshade. Basically, that's a ghost type seismic toss, so it'll do 100 damage every time, which is, you know, good for a Pokemon like Sableye that really struggles to do a lot of damage. I mean, there's like Trick. There's Taunt, which is kind of valid, not very good, but kind of valid. I mean, I guess you could run like Low Kick, like Focus Punch or something like that to hit incoming dark types. I could see someone justifying that. I don't think it'd be good, but I could see it. I get like Metal Burst is a really good move. It's not so good on Pokemon with garbage HP like Sableye. But Metal Burst is a crazy good move in general. Gravity. No. Somebody said something about Chestnut as a teammate. Funny enough, I think that actually is the team I originally faced, which I'd consider. Kind of fits well. And like, I guess Shadow Sneak, you could run something like, you could run like Pain Split. You could run Shadow Sneak, but realistically, I think it's just going to be Wisp Knock. We don't need to waste too much more time deliberating on that. Yeah, Trick Lagging Tail would be funny, but I don't think it'd be good. Something else to note about Prankster, guys, is that this not working on dark type effects does happen on switch in too. So if you're like trying to Will-O-Wisp a Landorus and your opponent switches hard into Kingambit, that Wisp will fail. Even though Kingambit switched in first, so the priority effect of Prankster didn't matter, that Will-O-Wisp will still fail. So yeah, this is what we're going with. Terra type, I really don't know, to be honest. I'd probably be inclined to just throw on something like steel or poison, but we can kind of decide that later. I don't think that's anything we need to look at now. I could see like just flying being good too, just to get us off the ground. You know, so in case we like switching on a task, we could Terra flying Encore to force it out. Could be helpful in a pinch. Trick Room on Sableye, so it's now -6 priority and can outspeed Roar. So Prankster only elevates priority by 1. Trick Room is like a -7 priority move, the absolute lowest in the game. So yeah, which I know the person that commented knew that, but just to let you guys know, if anyone was ever thinking that Prankster Trick Room would be good because it can like set Trick Room with priority, not how it works, unfortunately. It will still move last. Unless like a slower Pokemon uses Whirlwind on you. No, someone asked if I know Pokegame. Not really. We talk occasionally. Attempting to coordinate a collab, but no, I don't like know him personally. Seems like a good guy though, from the interactions I've had. We've chatted a couple times. Okay. So let's talk about this. Main thing Sableye does, so it's good against HO. That's what I'm hoping at least, because if Sableye is bad against HO, then there's no point in using this thing. But I'm hoping it'll be good against HO. So it's a spin blocker. It's good against HO. Spreads knockoff, spreads status. And we can't really think about this like a defensive Pokemon. Yeah, we can't think about this like a defensive Pokemon, because if we think about Sableye like a defensive Pokemon, we're going to be really upset with the results we get. No, Pursuit, yeah, Pursuit hasn't been in the game since Gen, yeah, it was not in Gen 8, not in Gen 9. It didn't get banned. Everyone really misses it. Yeah, so I'm just struggling to think, because like when I build around a wall breaker, right, I usually list out what it can't break, what walls that wall breaker, and then kind of try to develop a breaking core based on that. And when I'm building with a wall, I look at what it defensively does and what kind of breaking core it could support. With Sableye, it doesn't really do anything we can count on. It doesn't really do anything reliable. So I'm thinking we go probably the ideal archetype. Well, there are going to be two. So the probably Stall is obviously one of them. You can throw almost anything on a Stall and it'll work okay. Sableye in particular, you know, obviously a lot of stall breaking strats, not a lot. Some stall breaking strats are interfered with by a Prankster Encore. So it could work on a Stall, and Stall teams kind of have that, but it's, I don't know, I feel like on a Stall it'd be, I feel like actually HDB spam Hazard Stack would be better for Sableye. Because the problem with Stall teams is that they're already really good against Hyper Offense. Some Hyper Offense teams are like prepped for Stall and have kind of usually Terra Forcing breaking cores that can get past them. But for the most part, Stall teams like, you know, Claude, Dozo, usually just Dozo alone, and like Blissey, like you're just shutting down every sweeper your opponent has. So I'm thinking we go with an HDB spam Hazard Stack here. And then kind of going with that, the old method, you know, the old ways, if you will, of breaking Stall with hazards plus knockoff. That's probably the approach we want to go. But we need to kind of be ready for a couple things. So the main thing is we've got to have hazard setters. Must have hazard setters that pressure, Corv, and Wheezing. and ideally Hatterene, right? So if Sableye can take care of Tusken Treads, or at least we can hope we do. We can hope it takes care of Tusken Treads. We'll see how that, theory goes in practice. But we want our hazard setters to be able to pressure Corvin Weezing. Also, I know I always say to start the build with the Breaking Core. And while we are kind of going to do that, the Breaking Core in this case is hazards. But another thing you can add at any stage in the team building process, but typically best done at the start, is just necessities. Like if you're building a rain team, is Pelipper part of the Breaking Core? Like kind of, because it's boosting, but you just throw on a Pelipper first. So like with the hazard stack team, we're going to need rocks, we're going to need spikes, so we're going to take care of that first and just try to add on setters that can do what we want. Bognor, thank you very much for the £2 saying prankster item switching. It's a fun tech in VGC. Sounds okay. I don't think it's the right move here. Trick Lagging Tail is, I think, a much less reliable set than what we're currently running. You need Encore, you need Recover, and then just giving up one of those for Trick just does not seem like a good move. Yeah. So let's think. Let's think what we want here. A rocker that can pressure. Core of Weezing Hat. Another interesting question is, do we want to go with an offensive or a bulky hazard stack? One would think Sableye would more appreciate a bulky team, but I don't exactly know. Maybe I think it would want to be on at least kind of a balanced team, at least, because it is so easy to switch into. It is threatened by so many Pokemon. It's going to be kind of switching out a lot. So we probably do want it to have a defensive core, a real defensive core to fall back on. Someone says, I've been sleeping. Witchy Wamires 5599. I've been sleeping to these stream VODs for weeks, and this is the first time seeing you live. Good luck with the matches today, man. Thank you very much. I'm surprised how many people have told me that they fall asleep to these, but I'm not upset about it at all. I'm happy I'm able to help people sleep. Sleeping is a struggle. I get that. It's a struggle for me as well. So if I'm helping people out there sleep, that makes me very happy. Heatran is a kind of a good one. I like that. Yeah. So options, I guess let's say like SR options. I like Heatran. One problem I have with Heatran is that it could invite in Tusker Treads, and then they could cover killing us and cover Sableye with clicking a ground move. So I'd say, yeah, Heatran's an option. Garg is another option. Meteor Beam Glamora is something else I was thinking that some people were saying. I could see that working. Probably those are the big ones. I don't really want to go Tyranitar. Yeah, I really don't want to go Tyranitar. I feel like that's just going to be... Sand Chip is, I don't think, something Sableye can afford. Bro is... Every HP point counts with Sableye. It really does. Bulky Pivot Core would be nice. Something like Gliscor, Moltres, maybe Zapdos. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Spike's Wellspring. Could be. Let's get some Spike's options down. Fewer options on the Spike side. So Pink Across have recently gotten 1,500 plus on national decks due to your team building guides. Very happy to hear that. That's awesome. Helmet Garchomp. That's a good one that could work for both. Well, it doesn't really pressure core over hat. It kind of pressures hat. Doesn't pressure. I'll keep it up there. Hard to say. Gliscor. You gotta put down H-Rod every time. I feel like we just have to go H-Rod, honestly. It feels like a throw not running H-Rod to set your spikes, like, most of the time. Oh yeah, we have got another SR option, which is Tinkaton, for sure. That's true. Rocks, Arcanine, Hisui. I don't know about that. I assume Rilla isn't the best on Hazard Stack. Generally not. No, I think it's probably more like a Boots Dragonite kind of direction I see us going in. But we'll see. What about Petrarunt? Petrarunt doesn't get spikes. I'm assuming you're talking about something else, but I'm not quite sure what. Yeah, Boots Rillaboom can work, but I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, I guess we can put on Landorus as well. You'd be amiss to not to leave Landorus off of any list. There is Chestnut. There is Chestnut as well, which doesn't really pressure our defoggers that well, but I think just Rocks is normally good enough. And Chestnut does I feel like theoretically work kind of well with Sableye. And they both hate Moonblast, but there's some synergy there. I don't think Gastrodon's that real these days. I think we need to really make the most of our slots. If you go Hisui and Samurott, then you're very weak to Specs Val. So guys, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Don't worry about what your team's weak to when you're like 2 Pokemon in. Every core of 2 Pokemon gets smoked by something common. Like, don't worry about it. Until you're on like your 4th Pokemon, basically don't worry about stacking weaknesses. Yeah. Problem is, Heatran doesn't often work too well on Boot Spam Hazard Stack because it really wants leftovers. So if we go Heatran, we're going to have to bring Boots. I mean, excuse me, we will have to go leftovers. Like, I'm not running a Boots Heatran. I think that's bad. So, you know, that could kind of cause some issues. But depending on how offensive the team is, might be okay. Make it Gravity Sableye. No. So, these are all good options. I feel like Heatran is calling to me, so I want to give that a go. Just the fact that it has the stats that Sableye doesn't. I can switch into fairy attacks, which is nice. Sableye hates status. Heatran can shut that down too. So I feel like this is the move. As far as the set, maybe like a Lava Plume, Spadef, maybe Will-O-Wisp. Double Wisp could be okay. Let me find. I had a couple Heatran teams in the builder here, and some of them were pretty good. I remember there was one set I'm looking for that I was really impressed by. Here we go. Here it is. It was one of the team fixing videos. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this set I remember really being impressed with. Would a Moltres be useful? Maybe. Probably not, but we can decide that later. Honestly, I kind of like Chestnut here. I feel like Heatran, Chestnut, but if we go with these guys, I think then we do have to add in Rapid Spin. I feel like we need a spinner at that point. I mean, we could just full send it, I suppose. I feel like the Chestnut's cool. I want to just give it a go. But we'll have an alternate version where we go A-Trot, because I feel like that's pretty strong too. I just hate not having Magma. It's so good, but Pinka hates it. Yeah, Lava Plume is really good, consistent, deals damage, has a good, really nice burn chance. Magma Storm is good on offense. Like, I'll run Magma Storm on an offensive Heatran on a team that can afford misses. I'll do that. But no, you're not going to catch me running Magma Storm on like a random defensive Heatran that doesn't really need to be running it. I don't think it's that good. And it's not something we need. It's not effectively going to break stall. Like, this is, if we put Magma Storm on here, we're still going to get shut down every single time by an Alamamola. So let's see, we'll go Spikes, Body Press, Synthesis, and we can leave the last slot open. Knockoff is typically what I go here, but we already have a knock user, and we're probably going to add another one. So when you get to the point of 3 knockoff users, kind of getting diminishing returns. So we'll see how we feel about that later. Now that we have hazards and we have a spin blocker, we need something that's going to threaten the opponent and remove some items. And Sableye is not that guy. We like Sableye, but Sableye is not that guy. There are a lot of cool ones. Walking Wake is pretty cool. That's one I've been wanting to use for a while, but we like definitely need removal if we add on a Wake. Yeah, we definitely need removal if we add on Wake. But the Chestnut likes the Wake. That's kind of cool. How much is Sableye taking from an Ogerpon? Probably like 1 billion. Okay, like 60. That's not as bad as I thought. I mean, a critical hit could wipe you off the face of the earth, but that's kind of how it goes. Why Chestnut? I kind of just wanted to. No, but it doesn't check Ogerpon. Did I talk? The first time I decided to try out Chestnut, I immediately face a Play Rough Taunt Wellspring on ladder. Like, the first time I pull up with a Chestnut team, queue up, and it was so irritating, dude. I hated it. Anyway, though. Yeah, if we go Wake, I was thinking Leftovers Wake potentially, but you're probably right. You're probably right that Boots is the move if we go Wake. I don't know, the Wake feels slow. It feels just very slow. Yeah, banned Ogerpon Wellspring, also with the Wellspring mask, would indeed ruin us. That would be pretty bad. We gotta have something. I feel like Dragonite's probably what we also end up going here. Because we're going to need priority that fits well in Hazard Stack, and Dragonite just does do that. It also just, helps with the Pokemon that Sableye can't Encore, like those Dark types. Helps with Kingambit. Helps with Darkrai. There are other options, but I feel like we've got to go with things that are doing a ton for the team. So I feel like Dragonite's probably the move. The lack of pivoting concerns me a bit here, especially with Sableye. I'd really like to have something on here that can pivot around. Potentially a Petrant I could see being good. We're counting an awful lot on Heatran's special defense stat, which I also don't love here. But I think I see... It's an awkward team to build, this team. It's... Yeah. It's like... Yeah, it's a weird kind of hazard stack balance. So I'm kind of just going off of vibes, intuition, and what I think we'll end up needing. But it's definitely an awkward build. Let's make a we lose to list. That might help guide us a little bit. Chestnut can outspeed Gambit, right? No, not really. It takes a lot of speed. A lot of speed I'm not willing to run. So we'll probably need... we're probably fine with Chestnut, D-Knight, Sableye. We lose too. Let's look at this. We're good against Cinderace. Sableye, I think we're fine. How much is Sableye taking from a Sableye? Yeah, that's not so good. Honestly, that's not so good. We can kind of handle Sableye. Can we reiterate what advantages Sableye offers? Someone got here late. Sure. For those that have come late. Basically, it clicks Encore. Prankster Encore. It also has Prankster Wisp. Has Knockoff, which is nice. And it's theoretically good against Hyper Offense, but that's a theory we are going to test. So what I'll say is for the rest of this team, I think between D-Knight and Sableye and Hazard Stack, we have enough counter Hyper Offense measures. I think we need to be focusing on more bulky matchups at this point. And like offense teams, but not hyper offense. Yeah, Kyurem, we super lose to Kyurem. Good note there. Darkrai is pretty rough, just because we're fully counting on Heatran on the special side. So yeah, Darkrai is pretty rough. Good catch. Or no, I caught that. Kyurem was a good catch though. Enamorus is tough. Yep, Enamorus is tough. Yeah, the special side, we need like a Glow King or something. I could see that. It doesn't really help with Darkrai, though. Yeah, Iron Valiant has a million ways that it could end us. That's very true. Dragapult, we're okay against, honestly. Like, Greninja, yeah, but it's also a Greninja. I don't think we really getting a twist about that. Yeah, Primarina. Fairy types in general are looking rough because we're fully counting on Heatran at the moment. So we definitely need something that's going to really help in that Fairy matchup. How is Banded Normal Pond bad here? Mostly just because we don't have removal of our own. Oh, some of you meant like, how is it bad again? Yeah, no, we're not worried about normal. We're not really worried about Ogerpon of any form. Cornerstone, probably the most threatening, and that's really not bad. Tusk, we're fine. Hatterene, we're fine. Crown is fine. Oh, Gliscor. Gliscor is rough. Just bro clicks toxic, basically, is the situation. Petulant is annoying. Yeah, Petulant is annoying. We so need a poison type here is what I'm figuring out. But it will be kind of awkward to know what poison type, how exactly we make that happen. Yeah, I mean, Glow King seems good, but then the trouble is, what do we do about Darkrai? Raging Bolt, also rough. Yeah, just like any special attacker is pretty much destroying us. Tornadus is kind of rough too. Yeah. I guess we need a Glow King. We'd like a Knock Absorber too if we can get one on there. Fezandipity offers a lot of the defensive matchups, but I don't know if it does enough otherwise. Yeah, that's a good point. Fezan is looking not like horrible, but it's not looking great. It's not looking great. Like, part of it will be that we're kind of going to have to deal with these threats offensively. This is actually not a passive team, despite being kind of more on the defensive side. But there, yeah, it is a little tricky here, how we deal with Gliscor. So the main threats then, if we comb down this list, we're now left with Curem is still a huge issue, Darkrai is still a huge issue. Enam, Ival, and Prim I'll take off. Hatcherunt and Torn I think I'll take off too. We still struggle with these fellas, and we don't really have an offensive knockoff Pokemon. So that's pretty challenging. Maybe Dragonite is not the move after all. Yeah, Chestnut does decently absorb knock. Blissey, use Blissey. That's what we need, yeah. I mean, honestly, Blissey might be kind of cool here. Wouldn't help us with everything, but it'd help us with some stuff. Yeah, oh, very good point. How could I forget that? We need a ground type. Yeah, because we lose to Volt Switch. It's another thing. Yeah. Very good point. Shocked I forgot that. So many things. It might help me to have just a list as I'm building, so I can check that 18 things video I made. I should maybe have that list open. Yeah, we do need a ground type. Anything ground that can like really help us here with these Pokemon? Not really. Not really. Like maybe an SD Gliscor kind of. A Spadef SD score. I guess Chestnut walls Darkrai that don't have Ice Beam, but that's not really how we want to play this, is it? I don't think the Sun matchup is rough. I think we'll be fine in the Sun matchup. I mean, other than Raging Bolt, of course, which is challenging here. Yeah, we also don't have speed, which is like, that's not great either. Maybe, what if instead of Slowking, we did like a Clodsire? That doesn't, this feels awkward here though. I think there's an alternate version where we maybe ditch Chestnut potentially and go Clodsire. Spike's Claude. Clodsire is kind of a bad spiker though. It doesn't do the job so well, does it? So I feel like if we can avoid that angle, I'd like to. That's true, yeah. No one really... Darkrai's always packing Ice Beam, isn't it? And like Gliscor with Toxic is still an absolute nightmare. So we need to run a ground type that can... Yeah, it'd have to be our own Gliscor. Team looks super low DPS. I have no idea what that means. Yeah. This is challenging. Maybe we have to ditch Chestnut. Maybe that's what we need. No, we need a ground type here. We can't go Zama. What if Gliscor is our spiker instead of Chestnut? I guess. I mean, it kind of works, but leaves us with some other issues. The play is to ditch Sableye for a Zigzagoon. Tell you what, let's go with a Spadaf Terra Normal Facade Gliscor and just kind of see how Sableye plays. I don't think this team's perfect. It's got significant concerns, but we'll go for outspeeding Bolt. I want to go EQ if we want to kill Bolt then. No, we need the knock. Oh, we could go knock EQ. Let's go knock EQ. I think that's okay. And then we can go Terra Fairy, I guess. That can kind of help us against Darkrai. And then 244, I believe it is. Right. We'll give this a go. And we'll go Fairy on this guy too. Toxic. What else? Or do we want to go T-Wave? Let's go Thunder Wave. I'm worried about this for a variety of reasons. We don't have actually like any real speed. We're counting on priority, which is generally not such a good idea. But we kind of have Prankster as well. It's worked before, so we'll give it a go. I'm definitely concerned, but I think we should give this a try. Yeah, we can kind of at least use this to see how Sableye operates, see how it does. I'll go Ice Beam last is fine. Maybe offensive pressure can kind of help keep Darkrai off our backs. I think we can go like probably Terra Fairy on this since we don't really have Dragon immunity. Could maybe Encore something into a Dragon move. Heatran, Grass is fine here. Yeah, maybe well, go Flying maybe. We go Flying. It's probably the move. We have Sableye for Tusk as well. We'll just go Grass. It's fine for now. We'll go Steel on this for the Ice Beams from Darkrai. Maybe Fairy is better. Go with that again. And do we want to run Knockoff? I don't think we need to. Could go like Spiky Shield or something. Roar seems not bad either. Leech Seed is a classic. Not being able to touch gold feels kind of bad though. Probably we do just throw on Knock. Could go ID as well. I'll just throw on Knock for now. We'll just go max defense on that. I think that's fine. Yeah, let's... Yeah, I've got significant reservations, but let's just kind of use this as a test run to see how effective Sableye is and see if it does what we hope it does. HF. Also, Wanawa, you're worried about Great Tusk. Chestnut, Great Tusk. Ice Spinners, I mean, don't you use Chestnut? You know Ice Spinner does like a third. If they look, if the Great Tusk goes and gets past Sableye and Chestnut, then yeah, we're in trouble. But like, yeah, at that point we got farmed. Okay. This is kind of already a pretty rough one because we've got a dark type. We've got, yeah, this double dark types. This is rough. This is pretty rough. Yeah, I don't like this. SD score looks good though. I think we honestly can just lead with that. And I'm inclined to just SD right off the bat. And Wellspring, how much are you taking from, you're taking more from EQ. And this Lando did outspeed us. So I think I'm down to just click Earthquake here. Get some good damage off on the Ogre Pawn, hopefully, and then we can go in Chestnut. Yeah, Bulletproof Chestnut is kind of like a fake immunity, which is nice. Oh, they just go into Tyranitar. Super whack play. Glad we clicked Earthquake. We're going to not kill, but get pretty close. And here, that Earthquake damage indicates that this is no bulk T-Tar. We almost certainly do still outspeed. I think we can just click Knock here. Yeah, so Landorus does come in, so that's glad we clicked Knock there. Got off some good damage. And here we probably just want to do as much damage as possible. I'm expecting just another switch. So we can click Earthquake. Yeah, there's just the U-turn. Probably we catch the Wellspring, and there we go. Get a little bit of damage. That was a good sequence for us. We got a lot of value out of Gliscor. Go into Chestnut here. Just see what they want to do. Ivy Cudgel comes out, makes sense. I think I'm down to knock off. Probably the Hatterene comes in here. I'm a little worried about letting Chestnut get too chipped, but we should be okay. Okay, and they just go Landorus. Interesting. I'm down to click Synthesis here. They'll probably... Okay, they just taunt. That's fine. I'll click Knock Off. They'll get some Helmet Chip on the U-turn, and we can knock something here, which looks good. Okay, it is indeed Hatterene, so we remove the leftovers. That's nice. Probably Slowking. I think if we go Gliscor, the odds of getting Psychic Noised are very high. And they just immediately go into Muck. I respect that. We can go into Gliscor on this. Hopefully we don't get Ice Punched right off rip. We get Ice Punched immediately. Go for the Protect here. And we can go Heatran. Probably Heatran. We can try to get up our own rocks. We probably get knocked off, but hopefully they click Ice Punch first. Let's see. Terra Water comes out and Ice Punch. Okay, so that turned out okay for us. I'm not too worried about Heatran coming in. They don't have removal. So rocks up here would be great, and that's excellent. We do get those up. Probably here, because this is kind of frustrating for me to deal with, and I don't think my Heatran's essential for other things. I just want to click Lava Plume here, and we immediately get a burn, which is really nice. And I think Gliscor can actually kind of handle this thing now. Yeah, Gliscor is actually quite good. Quite good at shutting this thing down at this point. So I'm inclined to go right into it here. They'll probably do 0 with something like that. Exactly. Yeah, I can just protect. Okay. We probably protect again. I don't see the SD coming out here. Yeah, they don't SD. We can go into Chestnut. We do survive 2 Ivy Cudgels with Flying Colors. We don't survive Play Roughs too well, but, you know, chip damage is chip damage, and we probably weren't getting spikes off anyway this game. I'll just click Synthesis in case they want to sack. They don't want to sack. Makes sense. Dragonite comes out. Extreme Speed here is likely to kill. Go in here and just Extreme Speed. I think there's no reason to go crazy and try to predict anything. Little worried about Dragapult at this point, but we'll keep our eye on it. Team has no hazard removal. That's correct. It's pretty common for hazard stack teams to go boot spam. Yeah, but this is not, obviously not a good Sableye matchup. Okay, we get the extreme speed off. Kind of frustrating. Have a chance to kill, not a great one. Could DD here. I feel like that's a fine play. See what they go into. Hatterene comes in. Yeah, probably should have seen that one coming, honestly. Okay, that's fine. Probably we just go Slowking on this. Yeah, in retrospect, would have been better to just extreme speed again. Kind of forgot this Hatterene was alive, to be honest with you. We can Sludge Bomb here. Sludge Bomb Slowking is honestly looking really good. We could probably just Terra Fairy and shut down the rest of this team at some point. Actually, because of how good it looks, I kind of don't want to risk it getting nuzzled. So I'm probably going to go into Gliscor here, I'm thinking, to cover the nuzzle. Because if we Terra Fairy Slowking, we hardwall the Dragapult, which is the last Pokemon that's actually a threat on this team. But yeah, this is not the matchup for Sableye. We immediately queue up into double Dark types and a Hatterene, so we'll give Sableye another chance. This is not its game to shine. You know, we had solid answers, right, for those Dark types and for the Hatterene, so it ended up okay, I think. Have you ever considered trying to make Hisui and Decidueye work? I have. Yeah, probably defog sets would be best. I don't think it's good, though. Problem is, even with Scrappy, it's not actually killing Gholdengo. And it's, yeah, so I just don't think it's that good. And then there's like, I mean, there's like Banded, but that's just not, it's not fast enough. Ultimately, the problem is it's not fast enough. If Hisui and Decidueye was a faster Pokemon, I would absolutely use it. All right, let's see what they do here. Should be a Nuzzle. Healing Wish comes out. Okay, that's pretty scary, honestly. That's pretty scary. I didn't see that coming. Tyranitar, that's total. I'm actually super okay with that, honestly. I thought it'd be way scarier. Them just healing up Tyranitar is like pretty much fine. I feel like we just click EQ here. I don't think I need Gliscor. And I think chipping this down would be worthwhile. So I think I will just throw off an EQ here. The reason I don't want to protect is because Wellspring might come in, and I don't want to let that. But at the same time, if Wellspring comes in, I can kind of just switch out. So we probably do protect here. I'll protect here. Okay, there's the Ice Punch. We can go Heatran. It'll take like 0. Let's check that damage. That might be, that's banded. Okay, so funny how little that did, but that is still confirmed banded damage. And there's just no reason not to click Lava Plume here. It's totally free. And I can just go Gliscor on this. Gliscor is completely free here. Ice Punch is doing like 30, which is pretty sad for our boy Muck. Okay, like they do call it out, but it's like, you know, how much, what did it really get you, right? I'll just DQ here. Okay, they do stay in Ice Punch again. Good on them, good play. And yeah, but we're fine. Our Gliscor is still happy and healthy. Does Dragonite die to a Play Rough? I don't think so. No, it takes a lot though. Could put it into risk of sand. So if Wellspring comes out, I do think we hard switch into Dragonite rather than protecting with Gliscor once. Pinkacross, who did you think they would heal up? I was worried about Wellspring getting up to full. I think Muck unburned would have been potentially pretty difficult as well. Yeah, Tyranitar, I'm like, was pretty relieved to see they healed up. Maybe I'm underestimating it and we're going to get fried by Tyranitar. Like, I do see how it threatens my team, but I feel like it's not the biggest concern. Okay, Wellspring comes out, makes sense. I'm just going to go hard into Dragonite. I think they'll click Ivy Cudgel on the expected Protect, and now we can Extreme Speed. Okay, and they go into Dragapult. Makes sense. We get Boots, Pult confirmed. I feel like Sableye, this is the only thing Sableye really can do. So, might as well. Okay, and there's Darts coming out doing way too much, if we're being honest. Doing way, way, way too much. Like, what do we... I mean, we can just click Knockoff here, I guess. Hit the Tyranitar a little bit. Kind of. Remove its band. For whatever good that does us. Yeah, this is such a bad matchup for Sableye. I don't know why they're like struggling so much on this turn. Also, guys, this viewership's great. We've reached over 300, a very rare benchmark. Record ever is 337. So if you're enjoying, please like the stream. Maybe we can make this a record. And they stay in. They stay in with their Pult and let it get knocked. Huge news for Sableye. We encore here for sure. And then this is going to push a switch likely into Tyranitar. So I'm thinking we go Heatran on that. Yeah. And then we can get a nice Earth Power off. Actually, I just realized our Heatran's really slow and we just die. Okay, cool. My bad. That was not good. Okay, let's not throw this. I think we go Gliscor, EQ is step 1. Actually, we could just Terra Fairy is probably the play. Yeah, because their knockoff is doing so okay. We protect. No, then we die to sand damage, though. Yeah, because if we Terra Fairy, knockoff is putting us in range of sand. We could Terra Fairy knock into EQ, but that... I think we just... EQ. Yeah, I think we just EQ, and then we can go D-Knight here, and we can just EQ again. D-Knight does guaranteed outspeed, so we're not worried about that. Okay, we get that kill off. A very straightforward Sableye sack here, I believe. Actually, I think we hard switch Glowking is better. Okay, Mist Wisp, like to see that. No reason not to just click Ice Beam here, really. The Wisp Mist didn't really matter, we would have just Terra Fairied. Pinka throwing like usual. No, I think we're totally, I think I'm just fine. We'll sack Sableye. Go D-Knight here. Just extreme speed. And then we just go Slowking again. Unless we get critical hit, we should be fine. Yeah, as long as we don't get critical hit here, we're okay. And I can... I believe Terra Fairy is the play here. They Terra, yeah, they've Terra'd already. So we Terra, Chili Reset, just in case they go for the knockoff here. And then we should be able... If we get Ivy Cudgel critical hit here, and they don't make a read for D-Knight, we lose. They just go Play Rough, we're fine. That should be GG. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch, but that should be GG. Guys, we are so close to a viewership record. Make sure to like the stream. Let's get this out there. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. It seemed like I was getting red a lot at the end, but it was really just because I knew it didn't matter. Like, you know, if I can set up a situation where I win unless I get critical hit, I'm going to take that situation. Yeah, Hex is doing 0, GG. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, we got to win with Sableye in a horrific Sableye matchup. Yeah, we locked it down. But yeah, the throwing away Heatran for no reason was not so good. Do you think if Thor does Terra Electric Thunder, he can beat Doctor Doom? I gotta talk about that, guys. Okay, we are like less than 10 viewers away from a record. This would be crazy. But I gotta talk about that whole movie thing, right? Like, Marvel, like, what are we doing, guys? Like, they're like, oh, we gotta bring back Robert Downey Jr. And it's like, do we? I understand that these movies aren't making as much money as you guys would like, but I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of just tired of the superheroes, and it's like, why are we bringing back and they're bringing back like Captain America too, and they're like, oh, people don't, you know what else frustrates me? The shows. You've got to watch like 20 hours of shows to understand what's going on in the movies. That's a huge throw. And James Gunn goes into DC and speed runs every issue Marvel had. One would think he would have learned something, but no. James Gunn just said, you know what? People don't like all the characters and people don't like all the shows. What if I immediately make the second movie reliant upon shows and throw in a ton of characters right off the go? Anyway, superhero movie complaint out of the way. I feel like we should have a good Trick Room matchup. Killing the Hatterene is kind of priority number one. If we could do that, that'd be great. I think I do just want to lead with Heatran here. Okay, that's not so good for us. I'm inclined to just go Chestnut on this. Honestly, no. Hard Sableye, I think, is the play here. I think this is a case where Sableye can actually do something. Unless it gets Supercell slammed immediately, which would be tragic. Let's see. Heck yeah. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Look at that. Encore. Yes, sir. We're going to knock off here. I'm expecting Hatterene will come in. We catch Mesprit. Cool. Sableye out here doing something. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to just set my own rocks. And yeah, we do outspeed. Beautiful. This is where things get a little tricky. Which Pokemon do we want positioned? Which thing do we want on the field? Chestnut is honestly looking fire. It's looking really good. Glowking can also outspeed stuff under Trick Room, which is nice. Does Mesprit learn Healing Wish? I think it does. I think that's what's about to happen. Yeah, so it's probably going to just Healing Wish here. I think the Pokemon we are best... What is the Pokemon we're best equipped to handle? We could Taunt here as they try to Healing Wish. It's probably going to be too slow, though. Well, that Sableye knockoff, though, it kind of did a lot. No, it was a Colbur Berry. And that did a lot. I think this is fast. Okay, they hard switched. Obviously not what we wanted to see. I think we go Chestnut and then double into Sableye on the Facade. That's what I'm thinking. Headlong Rush one-shot Sableye to give you guys an idea of the level of bulk we're dealing with here. Okay, I think this thing is probably going to just Headlong Rush my Chestnut here. How much is Dragonite doing? Not so much. Not so much at all. They should just Headlong here. They might Facade. I think... Oh, I don't want to let this die. But I don't see a way to get it back. I think we just Body Press. Okay, they do Headlong, so at least we got the prediction right. Slowking can come in here and threaten a kill with Ice Beam, I believe. Yeah. Just invites in the Mesprit, though. I think we do it anyway. We go Ice Beam here. And I think SD Gliscor is going to be my main win con. Yeah, had we gone hard... Okay, they just sack Ursaluna. Didn't see that coming. I guess they were banking on us not having Ice Beam. Potentially, they thought they could survive a Psychic Noise and get another kill. Bit of a greedy play by our opponent. I think they were in a good enough spot that they shouldn't have really taken that risk, but they did. We're happy to see it. Definitely Heatran here. We can't really afford to let this thing set up. That is a crazy, crazy power level coming out there. Definitely Dragonite. I can't imagine Kingambit not going for Sucker Punch here. I feel like you must click Sucker Punch. The Life Orb is good though. I like to see Life Orb. That's, well, I kind of like to see Life Orb. Black Glasses is better. I think running Life Orb Kingambit is honestly a total throw. Should have gone Gliscor and wasted turns. Now you have to sack. Tell me which turn I should have gone Gliscor. It's easy to say should have gone Gliscor. It's hard to find a turn where going Gliscor was an actual option. Okay, we're going to just DD up here. I don't think this thing learns Ice Beam. Let's quickly check out Mesprit and see exactly what this thing can do. Because if we went Gliscor on the wrong turn and died to a Facade, that'd be pretty bad. Okay. Okay, it gets Blizzard. Good heavens. Okay, this Pokemon gets everything. I'm going to hope it can't hit us that hard. And just DD. Let's see. Psynoise. That's not that bad. I think we E-Speed based on how much damage Sableye did. 2 E-Speeds will actually kill. We honestly probably could Terra Normal E-Speed and kill here, to be honest. But I think we can just... actually, well, let's check that Sableye damage. Colbur Berry. Because that Sableye did 24. That wasn't a critical hit either. So this thing I think has 0 bulk. Pretty close to 0. Dragonite might be able to... I think we just go for 2 E-Speeds. Yeah, there's the Trick Room. Terra Normal would not have killed based on that damage. So good to get confirmation on that. We can just E-Speed again here. We could actually... I think I do E-Speed again here to block the Healing Wish. I was thinking I could Roost, potentially. We are like 5 viewers away from record, by the way, guys. Like the stream. Let's make it happen. Okay, Iron Hands comes out. This has got to just be Sableye. I feel like this is what Sableye's here to do. What it was born for. Once again, I just click Encore. You could have gone Glisk on Ursaluna, lived Facade. No, I couldn't have. So let me refer you to the turn where this happened. Let me refer you. Hold on, where is it here? Stealth Rock. Use Trick Room. So as I taunted, they hard switched into Ursaluna. So there was no turn where they didn't have Flame Orb active. So Gliscor would have died. Okay. Now the question is here, what will they go into? I think it's either going to be Kingambit or Hatterene. In both cases, I like Gliscor. Okay, and it turns out to be Kingambit. This will do a ton. I'm happy to just click Earthquake here. It hits everything very hard. New record. Guys, we've officially reached a new record. 340. The barrier that has never once before been broken has just been broken. Thank you guys so much for being here and making this possible. Epic stuff. I'll click Protect here to heal up a little. Yeah, who would have thought people liked Sableye so much? Actually, Sucker Punch does not kill. It might, though. Has a chance to. I really don't want to lose Gliscor. It's probably... No, we don't risk the Gliscor. What's the play, though? Kind of don't want to ditch any of my guys. Probably Heatran is the most sackable, so I think we'll go into that. Oh, and they go Hatterene. That's really good. That's really good for us. So yeah, we can just Lava Plume on this. It'll definitely be a Healing Wish. Probably into Gambit, I'm going to say. I think that's fine. Actually, no, the Elo Gambit endgame could be horrifying. Let's Lava Plume. They go hands. Interesting. Let's go Sableye. I'm confused by their decisions here. Yeah, Drain Punch, just, that's not going to do it. I'll click Encore. I really don't mind. Yeah, I don't know why they keep, like, staying in, is the weird thing to me. I think this is a great opportunity to get our Gliscor a little healthier, so I'm going to go right into that. Let's see. They go into Hoopa. Might have Hyperspace Fury, might not. Probably we can go... Sableye doesn't really want to scout that. Most of these guys aren't Hyperspace Fury. We could Protect to cover that. I mean, we could Terra Fairy. I think we just Protect normally. Let's see what they got. And they immediately Hyperspace Fury and kill us. Unfortunate, it happens. Okay. I think I go Dragonite here and we Roost. I feel pretty confident that's the right play. And then here, I'm thinking we... DD, honestly. I think we can try to go with the Terra Normal route for this game. And I think we Terra Normal and just attack here. So if they want to break our multi-scale, they won't get to Healing Wish. How much did you PayPal this guy? A normal person wouldn't fall for Encore like 4 times. I think they just keep over-predicting and thinking I'm not just going to click Encore, and I always am. Okay, let's see. Goody speed comes off there. They Psynoise. We'll go for it again. They might Terra Steel Healing Wish here. That would be rough. Not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. I think I'm just going to have to hope they don't have that particular Terra type. Looks like they don't. Should be potentially a clean sweep here with Terra Normal Extreme Speed. Gambit comes out. Yeah, like you might have Terra Ghost. I don't believe you do. It's not really worth risking it though, is it? If they Terra Ghost here and then destroy us, then we go Sableye. There's really no reason, but then like I'm worried about the Iron Hands potentially doing some shenanigans. I really shouldn't be worried about that though. We have a Sableye. I think we just sack Heatran. I think that's the play. They are, good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. They are indeed Terra Ghost, pulling that right out there. So we can go, ooh, this is a little awkward actually. Let's go Sableye, and I think we can just Wisp here is the best play. That'll leave us with the highest HP remaining. Yeah, and they're going to just Kowtow, and we take a good chunk because we're a Sableye. But now their Terra's gone, so we should be in a really good spot to win this game. I'll recover here, see what they want to click. They are just going to Hyperspace Fury, which will put us in a world of pain. We outspeed them if they set Trick Room, which is kind of funny. I think we sack Slowking, I think is the play. Yeah, I think we sack Slowking is the play. And then we go D-Knight. Extreme Speed. Just in case they happen to be Jolly for whatever reason. And then Iron Hands, I don't think will die to Earthquake. But if they Drain Punch us, we can Encore, is the key. And they can't kill with anything else. So I think we're fine. Unless they like critical hit a Supercell Slam or something. Okay, we do just get the kill. GG. All right, we're 2-0 with the Sableye team. It's been kind of difficult, but we're 2-0. Oh, what is this? Let me get rid of this. Just Mesprit hang. Well, actually, you know what? We'll let Mesprit hang out. Pink Aura Fantastica. That is the second time you have been saying I've lost, and I haven't. Let me live, bro. Let me pull up Artifact S. I think this is a sample team. Is it? Bulky offense, maybe? Balance? Is it balance? I could have sworn this was a sample. I guess not. I guess it's not a sample. Well, okay. Yo. HF, we've been recognized. It's always fun. I don't understand how people like actors and stuff get like tired of being famous. I'm not even like that famous, and yet like someone recognized me on the ladder and I'm always excited about it. I don't know. I guess if people get really weird, I could see how it get tiring, but I feel like it'd be cool. Okay, honestly, Sableye's looking fire here. Like, really nothing wants to deal with it. Gliscor looks pretty good. This honestly looks like it should be a pretty good matchup for us. I don't anticipate this being super hard. As far as leads go, I think I like Glow King here, but they might lead low kicks, which would be rough. Let's lead Heatran. I think that covers quite a bit. Okay, they just start with Slow King. Fine. I'm inclined to set up rocks here. They might be worried about a Magma Storm and want to get out of this situation. Go into Alo. Yeah, only one pranks to resist, and it does not like getting knocked off. So it's pretty cool. Okay, we set rocks. They go hard Tusk. Surprised to see that, honestly, but fair enough. I think it's Colbur Glow King. Okay, they knock us off. We're going to just go for the knockoff ourselves. Pretty obviously. Okay, yeah, looks like we'll get rid of the... Oh, no, Shaka. It was Shaka. Okay, so that's actually pretty good then that we got that. So, that's still Fizz Def. It can't Sludge Bomb us. Could still Ice Beam, could still Toxic, could still Psynoise. I think... I think Gliscor here is... They might Ice Beam, though. Just getting like rogue Ice Beam would be pretty rough. I think there's a good chance they just go Tusk, though. Let's go Gliscor. I don't think the Ice Beam comes off here and we don't die. If it does, it would be unfortunate, though. All right. Very much, I think I just click Earthquake. If they have Ice Beam, that's rough, but not the end of the world. They do stay in. They do have Ice Beam. We do survive, as expected. Future Sight here will be a kill. So I think the play is to go either Heatran or actually Sableye here. One of the two. I'm more inclined to go Sableye. I feel like that puts us in a more commanding position offensively. They'll go into Cinderace. Interesting. I'm okay to take a Pyro Ball to knock this thing off. I think that's a good deal. Okay, and we don't get burned. Beautiful. And we get rid of those. Boots, which is excellent stuff. So now I think we just go Heatran. Heatran pretty much hard walls this. Court Change makes a lot of sense there, and then we can set our own rocks, put ourselves on the path to victory. Now that that Cinderace is knocked off, that's really good for us. Mola comes in. Not super worried about Mola. Not really worried at all about Mola. probably just, I mean, it's AV. I'm pretty sure this mole is just AV. Could go Chestnut. They don't really have an easy answer for that. So I think I like Chestnut. Yeah, this is actually a decent Sableye matchup. Sableye knocking the ace is really good. There are no like sweepers to stop, I think, other than just the Tusk. Based on how much damage we did last time, I believe it is the play to just knock off here. There's a chance we get a kill, and even if we don't, we'll do good damage. Ice Beam won't kill us. Okay, and they do go into Tusk, and we get the Tusk knocked off as well, which is epic stuff. So I'm going to body press here just for damage, really racking up the damage, which is awesome to see. And I can set up spikes. So they're now putting on their own offensive pressure, I'm afraid. I think we just go Heatran and get rocks up, honestly. Okay, they don't even Future Sight. Awesome news. Definitely thought they would. Happy to see they didn't. Okay, well, let's see. We get a Chilly Reception. So they confirm that they do, in fact, have Chilly Reception, which I wasn't honestly, wasn't sure about because they made some kind of odd plays not clicking Chilly Reception earlier. Let's check that body press to see what kind of set this is. I think I recall this being a defensive Tusk. So yeah, that's defensive, which means our Sableye can actually switch in safely here. Yeah, there's the Rapid Spin coming off, and we are okay to deal with that. So we could Encore, we could Recover. I think Recover is the play. I don't think Tusk stays in, and sure enough, I'm happy to Will-O-Wisp here. We unfortunately miss our first Will-O-Wisp of the day. Kind of unfortunate, not a huge deal though. Sableye still putting in major work this game. But yeah, because this is a defensive Tusk, we can completely shut that down, which is really, really nice. If they go Cinderace here, the plan is to go Chestnut and set up spikes. They might go low kicks here. That would be interesting. They do go low kicks. They're going to take a lot of hazard damage, but they do put themselves in a position to threaten us quite a bit as well. I think the play is Dragonite. As much as I like Dragonite in this game, I think it's the move here. Sacking Gliscor is also an option. On second thought, I think we do let the Gliscor go. I feel like keeping Dragonite's multi-scale intact, because like, look at Terra Normal here. It looks amazing. And they do just U-turn. Fine. Fair enough. Yeah, Gliscor at its low health would have been kind of tough to get back, and I just don't think it's essential. Okay, and there in comes the Mola. So honestly, I'm thinking we go just DD Knight here to start, like, get this thing going. Could someone in chat tell me if this has Scald? Yeah, I think knock on low kicks was the play I would have made there, but I respect the U-turn. It's fair enough. If this has Scald, I don't want to risk D-Knight getting burned here. So I'm going to wait on chat to tell me. Someone will probably remember this team. So I'll think in the meantime, if it is Scald, what do I do? It's a good question. If it is Scald, I probably go Slowking. If it is Scald, I'd probably go Slowking. Excuse me, probably just go Slowking and honestly click like Sludge Bomb. I think would be fine. But if it's not Scald, we go Dragonite DD. Let's see what chat says. Waiting on the delay. If someone says no, I'm assuming they mean no Scald. It has Aqua Jet, no Scald. Okay, cool. Let's go D-Knight then. Let's DD. Let's just win this game. Should be. Like, I feel like there's really no resource left to handle our Dragonite. Body Slam is frustrating, but they do just flip turn, it looks like, so that's good news. Pinka asking for ghosting. Yeah, you're allowed to do that on ladder. SRN and I play together on ladder. I can ask for info from chat. Yeah, you're allowed to ghost on ladder. If I did that in a tour, that'd be really problematic. But ladder is common and accepted. So if I'm guessing they go into Glow King here, the plan there is Terra Normal into Earthquake. Yeah, in retrospect, probably risking the Scald wasn't the move. Safer play would have just been go Glow King and Sludge Bomb there, but it's fine. We'll end up in a good spot. Opponent here in a lot of trouble. Valid. There's no easy out for them here. Okay, Slowking comes in as expected. Play is to yeah, just, well, hold on. Let's check bold, see if we kill with an extreme speed Terra. We don't. So yeah, Terra Normal EQ is the play, and they do Terra Water. We see that come out, and we'll see what they go for. Do we get frozen is the big question. We do not, so this should just be game with E-Speed here. It's going to be a really tough comeback for our opponent to make. No reason not to just click extreme speed here. Completely no drawback play. Yeah, Ace comes in and is going to die. I think they have to go Slowking and switch around a couple times, but it's going to be a really costly endeavor that they have no way of bringing this game back from. Probably Mola here living and going for a body slam para. I'm not going to say GG till I see the forfeit. As long as this game's still going, I'm not saying GG. Yeah, they're still playing. They're still playing. Prob's over, but you never know for sure. Yeah, I like to be cautious with my GGs. E-Speed doing tons there, and they do bring that out. Yeah, no reason to preserve PP on extreme speed. We don't need to. This still kills. Yeah. Clean 5-0 against a 1940s player, so pretty respectable. GG. Good showing from Sableye there. Sableye was crucial. I know it didn't do huge damage, but its spin blocking there was really, really nice, and it did put a lot of pressure on our opponent's team. So, okay, we're 3-0. Not bad at all. It's still hard to say if this thing's worth using. I feel like this team is still kind of wonky. I don't like the lack of speed, but at the same time, it is Gen 9 OU. If you have a Prankstermon and an E-Speed D-Knight, maybe it's okay to let go of the speed, but I feel like at the same time, you can run into Terra Ghost, fast Pokemon. Like a Terra Ghost Nasty Plot Darkrai would kind of be the end of days here. But, I mean, we have resources for that. It's tough to say, for sure. Did you get traumatized by calling GG early before? I don't know, not a particular instance I remember. I just like to be careful with saying GG, because it doesn't feel good to say GG and then the Alo body slam paras you, and then the low kicks, leech lifes all over everything, and you lose, you know? HF. Okay, so their removal here is a drill, so let's see how much we take from that. Kind of a lot, yeah. 2,000 player we're facing. Okay, cool, so this will be a fun one. Not a huge fan of facing T-Tar, obviously. I do really like Chestnut here. I really, really like Gliscor here. Honestly, Gliscor looks kind of just like a win. I'm inclined to lead with that. Yeah, let's just SD right off the bat and get this offense going. I'm guessing the Moltres will probably have Roar or something. Let's SD again and see if we can hit that hard as it enters. Yeah, Moltres comes in. We'll get a huge knockoff here, and then it won't be able to switch in again, obviously. If they could drag out Heatran, that'd be awesome. Sableye, worst case scenario, I think. No, there were kind of a lot of scenarios there that weren't very good, so I can't complain too much. I'll probably go Gliscor again here. I'm expecting just a U-turn to come out. They might roost. Okay, they do roost. I am surprised to see that, honestly. We can SD just to kind of get roared out again, maybe get a better roll this time around. Okay, that kind of did a lot. I'm going to protect here. We probably get roared. Okay, we get Heatran this time. Okay, cool. So now I really can't complain. And that U-turn is confirmed as the last move, so they cannot touch our Heatran. That's really good, obviously. Guard comes out again. Should just be an easy Slowking here. We'll see if they have Earthquake, but I should just be able to enter with Slowking every time and click Chilly Reception. And they do just go for that again, indicating that we probably are all set. Probably we go Gliscor. I think Gliscor, just putting so much pressure on this team is the plan. Yeah, like they're trying to Salt Cure, which is fair, but we SD here. Then we click Knockoff. And if you go Moltres, this gets 2-hit KO'd. Did we outspeed last time? Well, they clicked Roar, so it's hard to tell. We do outspeed. Okay, Moltres down. We're looking really good with Gliscor. Could have encored the Moltres into Roar. True. Potential switch would have been bad, but that's a good point. We have a Sableye, right? This is like the one thing Sableye does. There's no harm in clicking Protect first to scout, so I'll do that. So yeah, we can go Sableye here. Actually, ooh, you know what we could do is get like a Cyclone, which we like encore it, and trying to think here. Let's go Slowking to start. We'll Sludge Bomb again. Okay, we see the Terra Steel come out. So they've officially burned the Terra, which is nice. That is good news. But it's kind of like, what do we do here, really? Can we PP stall Crunches? Not quite. With Slowking combined, we can, though. So that's probably the plan. We'll go Gliscor this time on the probable crunch. Yeah. I think PP stalling should be a pretty consistent plan here. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I'll go Slowking this time. Okay, they do just crunch again. Can we not get defense dropped constantly, please? Critical hit. Oh my gosh, at least we didn't get defense dropped, but like, good God, dude. It's been kind of frustrating. Oh my gosh, it just keeps happening. We'll go Slowking here. We should be good to PP stall this, but the critical hits are a little frustrating. I'll go Gliscor. Does Gliscor live a body press here? I don't want to get Gliscor killed. That'd be really sad. Oh, Gliscor is tanking this just fine. I think I SD here on the likely crunch. Awesome, we catch a crunch. Protect. Go Sableye. Yeah, we should be fine to PP stall crunches. We could Encore. Doesn't really get us anything, though. So I'll just knock off here, I guess, is fine. Can recover. Nothing to be gained by revealing set info, so... Cool. Just keep on clicking knockoff is fine. Oh, and I can actually encore here and then knock them. Okay, good T-Tar switch. Good T-Tar switch. That was good. I don't think we really want to risk... I think we do just go Chestnut. We have a Chestnut, right? Might as well use it. That knockoff indicates Banded. Love to see that. Love to see Banded doing 0. Probably an okay time to spike up. Yeah, let's just do that. And they're staying in, which is beautiful. We can Synthesis here. Obviously doesn't heal us a ton, but healing is healing. And happy to go Gliscor here. Gliscor looks like a pretty no drawback play. They're going to Parting Shot out. Totally fine. I'll just go Sableye. Yeah, we can Encore this into Swords Dance, no problem. Petulant comes out, fair enough. We'll go Gliscor again. That's pretty okay. We'll go for an SD here. Let's see, okay, and they are, looks like they're a slower Petulant, slower, bulkier, good to know. I'll go for the knockoff here. They do just, they go for the aggressive SD, which I'm surprised to see. I'm really surprised to see that come out here. Should be just an Iron Head coming out from this drill. What's the play after this is the question. Actually, I think I've got an epic gamer play. If they Rapid Spin on the Switch, it'd be tragic, but I think I have a play. I'm going to Protect here. Then I'm going to go Heatran. Please don't spin here. Please don't spin here. Awesome. Hold on. Let me see if I'm cooking or if I'm burning down the kitchen. The plan was here to sack this. Then go Sableye Encore. Encore into the Earthquake. Then go Gliscor SD and win. I think that's a valid plan, so I'm going to click Lava Plume here. We SD. I think we knock off first. Mm-hmm. I think I throw off a Protect. Okay, no critical hits. We love to see that. I think I Protect here for health. Then we go Chestnut. And we Body Press. We do get flinched, unfortunately. That's actually a really bad flinch. I think there's nothing to do but take it. I think we have to just let ourselves get spun on. That was an unfortunate flinch, but it happens. DD here, I think, is the play. We can EQ. Ooh, we could also go... I think we have to EQ and hope we don't get Malignant Chain poisoned here. We don't get Malignant Chain poisoned. Huge, 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 huge. I think that makes us locked in for the win. Yeah, because this, we should be able to kill this with Terra Normal Extreme Speed just fine. Yeah. No switch. Exca goes down. Beautiful. We win. Okay. Yeah. Things got a little dicey there. Maybe my SD plan to deal with the drill was a little crazy, and I should have just gone D-Knight and kept Sableye alive. Then there was also the odds of a flinch, though, which was a risk. I think we just EQ here. Should be fine. We roost. I don't know what I'm doing here with my... And they fail, which is awesome, so we can EQ. GG. Okay, guys. We beat a 2,000 ELO opponent to go 4-0. Yeah, the hazards going down. Some things made that rough, but we got the 2,000 ELO win with the Sableye. We're now 4-0. Okay, we're facing this opponent again, HF. They'll probably play it a little... I'm not going to say smarter because that sounds like cocky, but I think they'll know the matchup a little better this time. So we'll have to, I think, be a little bit more cautious. I'm not quite sure what they'll lead with. I'm actually kind of thinking it might be a Tusk. So I want to lead with Chestnut here. Oh, we got JPig in chat facing you again. So do please head off the stream. Oh, we got another donation? I completely missed it if we got another donation. Oh, I was too locked in. Thank you very much, something or other. Another 50 gifted memberships. Incredibly generous. Thank you so much. Low kicks lead. Okay, interesting. I think on this, I have to body press immediately. Like, we want to do as much damage as we can. Smart U-turn. Good stuff. Good stuff there. Chilly Reception, Future Sight, Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb. That's the set we're dealing with. So I think this is a no drawback going to my own Slowking. We can Chilly Reception, get Gliscor's Toxic Orb active here, and protect on that Future Sight. Unless they go into like Tusk here, at which point we can go Sableye. So we have a lot of options. Hopefully we don't get the slow Chilly. We could Thunderwave here potentially, but then that leaves us pretty open to the... I mean, their Tusk is... Hold on. How much is a non-invested Earthquake doing? There's so many ways that goes poorly. I think we do just Chilly. Okay, they get the fast Chilly, which is awesome. We're happy to see that. GL. Oh, I should have said that in the game, too. Oh, no. I did say HF. Okay, they go into Cinderace, which is a super weird one. So that's better. I don't know why they went into Cinderace, but Heatran takes nothing from a Future Sight, and it can set up Stealth Rock. Why you never double DD? In that case, I didn't double Dragon Dance against Petrunt, because that would have led to another chance for Malignant Chain. +2 Earthquake did not one-hit KO, but a +1 Earthquake did 2-hit KO, so it would have been better to just Dragon Dance once as I did. Remember to like if you're enjoying the stream. Sableye going to become more common when the Mega is allowed again. Yes. It's a shame. I think the Mega... It's hard to say if it'd be better with Magic Bounce or Prankster. I feel like Prankster would make it a more diverse and like Pokemon that could actually be used on other archetypes. But probably for the sake of just being on stall teams, what it has is probably optimal, sadly. I'm expecting it to just be a knockoff here. I'm kind of tempted to stay in, actually, and throw off a Lava Plume, but that's probably a bad play. I think we just go Chestnut, we get knocked, and then we absolutely want to click our own knockoff here. This team kind of has no Knock Absorber other than Tusk, which is normally an okay Knock Absorber. Tusk, and they do decide that the Tusk is what they want to be, their Knock Absorber. I think I'll Spike up here. Reason being, our Synthesis wouldn't heal us that much. Okay, interesting. I really want to go greedy for the knockoff. I think I will. They might Pyro Ball. Okay, they Wisp, but we get rid of the Boots, which is huge. We have knocked off both the removal Pokemon, and we're now about to get Spike up on one side. I think that is well worth Chestnut losing its item. Easiest Slowking of my life. Pretty sure this is a Scarf and M, so yeah, there's no real reason ever not to do this. Critical hit Earth Power, not really a concern at all, even with the critical hit, just a super easy Gliscor. And in comes this guy. This little fella. Should just be Heatran, honestly. I think it'll just be an Ice Beam coming off. Hopefully we don't get frozen. They do click Future Sight. They do click Future Sight, which is a little bit threatening. but I think I can just lock this down with Sableye. So I'm inclined to click Stealth Rock, and as they Chilly Reception, we can just go into Sableye. That's kind of what Sableye's for in this matchup. And they Earthquake. They might try to knock off. I think I Wisp here. Beautiful. We burn the Tusk. We do get knocked. Very much a good deal for us. This Tusk is in super bad shape, which we love to see. Once again, Slowking. Last time was a critical hit. It's going to do nothing. Super easy Chilly. Well, actually, do we want a Chilly? Yeah, we do want a Chilly Reception here. And this is just looking really good. This is looking really good. We want to not throw is always the key. We could burn that Shucca Berry with a Heatran Earth Power. Could also just go Heatran Lava Plume, fish for a burn. Probably we can just fish for a burn here is the best thing to do. Let's see. Do we get it? Good damage nonetheless. No burn, but that's okay. Tusk comes in. Easiest Sableye of my life every time, pretty much. There's just no reason not to go into Sableye. I'll recover here. I could knock off, predicting a switch. We could catch a low kicks. I'll knock off. I think knock off on the switch is good here. And we do indeed catch the low kicks exactly as hoped. That knockoff doing 20 is like kind of a lot. But yeah, now Gliscor, now that this thing doesn't have a band, Gliscor pretty well hard walls low kicks. So we're a lot less threatened by this. And I think I'm okay to protect here just to not get Leech Lifed up for too much. Leech Life is doing 34 heals, 21%. I think I SD here. Oh, I really did expect they'd Leech Life. And we get another 50 donated memberships from something or other. Crazy work. Thank you very much. As always, insane generosity. This thing's Shucca Berry, so I'm going to protect... Ooh, do we protect here to scout? If they Terra, we can kind of just win with Dragonite. I think I protect here. Okay, they do Terra Water. Good thing we protected. Ice Beam does not likely kill us here. This is bold. Yeah, something or other. Thank you so much. Crazy generosity. As always, thank you so much. Like, we'd probably live. We could... Probably we just EQ here and keep the pressure up. I don't think Gliscor is really, like, even an essential Pokemon at this point. So let's just EQ. We get a good chunk. Ice Beam comes off, does not kill. And yeah, we can... we could knock the Choice Scarf. I kind of don't want to, almost. I think I kind of want to leave the Choice Scarf for it. We'll just Earthquake again. Probably an Am comes in here, but then we can heal up quite a bit with Gliscor. Low Kicks is going to come in. It won't... Oh, it will die to hazards. Oh, no, of course it would. What am I saying? Stealth Rock doing 25. Something or other. Thank you so much. Crazy, crazy work. Much appreciated. So it should be a Healing Wish here. Into... Okay, and they just forfeit. All right, GG. Surprised to not see Healing Wish into Tusk there. I feel like there was maybe an angle with Healing Wish. Probably not, but there was maybe an angle with Healing Wish into Tusk. No, then you just lost to Gliscor clicking Swords Dance, didn't you? Yeah, probably. Okay, well, guys, that brings us to the end of the stream. That's 2 hours. So we gained, I think, over 100 ELO. Here's our final record. We beat a lot of high ladder opponents. We went 5-0. Like the stream for that. I bet this is some kind of money laundry. Wow. Yeah. I looked into how subs get delivered, and according to what I read, basically it goes to people who interact with Pinka's channel the most, with a slight bias to people in chat. Oh, that's very interesting. Cool. Well, yeah, something or other. The Oil Baron is always just being incredibly generous in chat. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys had a good time. This was kind of a crazy stream. I didn't expect Sableye to go crazy like this. We went 5-0. Beat a 2,000 ELO opponent, generally just kind of went crazy, went undefeated, and broke the record for viewership. So Sableye went insane. I mean, that first game it did 0, but let's remember what else it did. It forced a Terra and completely shut down a Zamazenta in that 2K ELO players matchup. Completely hardwalled that defensive Tusk. And it was really helpful against that Trick Room team. So 4 out of the 5 games we played, Sableye was really, really good. Only that first game was bad. So do you guys want to see Sableye again? Should we just keep trying this team, or maybe try a different approach? Or do you feel like it was cool, but we kind of just leave it there? What do you think about Sableye? We'll see. We'll see what the people say. Team building was so shaky, but it went so well. Yeah, I still don't feel super confident about the team. There are definitely some concerns. Yeah, do not do part 2 of Sableye with SRN. I won't. Don't worry. You will lose. Yeah, SRN. Yeah, the part 2s with SRN haven't traditionally gone so well. But okay, seems like most people want to see, not the highest percentage, yes, we've seen before. I will do a Lycanroc part 2. You literally cannot stop me. Watch as he does it with SRN. Different approach, but yes, Sableye. So maybe a different team. But yeah, this worked pretty well, honestly. It really did. I mean, it was just 5 games, small sample size. I think we were blessed with some of the matchups. Like that Enamor's team, I think, is a horrific matchup for our opponent. What was the name? JP? I forget the exact name, but yeah, the person we faced twice, that was like a horrific matchup. So the sample size was pretty small. I'm still not super confident in this team being great, but hey, you can try it out for yourself and let me know. Maybe it's cracked. Sometimes weird teams that break a rule or two are actually really good. I think this is the set. If we go another angle, I think we will still use this set. This Sableye set pretty consistently proved itself to be very impressive. So, yeah, and then someone else wants to see the H-Rod version. Chestnut was honestly pretty good. I feel like if we go H-Rod, it definitely wouldn't be the same team. We'd have to shift some stuff around, because if we went H-Rod over Chestnut here, we'd get farmed by Tusk for sure. Do a recording with Blunder so he can see a good working team once. Blunder, I don't think builds his own squads. I mean, I know he does sometimes. Like, I know he can build. I think people pass him teams for the lives usually. And yeah, they're kind of gimmicky a lot. I mean, but like at the same time, you know, the guy's putting out like every couple days or like a lot of showdown content. So I don't blame Blender for using a lot of bad teams. I don't blame AIM for using a lot of bad teams. I use a lot of bad teams. I mean, you guys were here with the fast hat one, but yeah, this one turned out well today. So thank you guys very much for joining. Thank you something or other for the donations. And I like the no screen set, messes with people's heads. Nobody should be using screen Sableye. It is a worse Grimmsnarl for the purpose of screens. It is so much worse. If you're using Sableye for screens, like, stop. Use something else. Okay. Or use Grimmsnarl specifically, if that's the kind of screen setter you want. I guess let's call it there. Try to time this right. End this in 3, 2, 1.